Hello, welcome to Master Mathematics. My name is Mr. A, and in this video, I am going to teach you how to use GEMDAS, better known in most circles as PEMDAS, to solve equations. This is your order of operations. You have most likely heard of PEMDAS before. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? That whole acronym, better known as parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. I like to teach students to substitute out the P for parentheses and replace it with a G for grouping, because the truth is that in the first step, you're not just looking for parentheses. Yes, you're looking for parentheses, but you're also looking for brackets, absolute value, or any grouping symbol. So maybe I need to come up with a good acronym for it. Since everyone knows the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, how about we change it to G, excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or gosh, excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All right, that one works a little better for GEMDAS. So everything else is the same. The E stands for exponents, the M multiplication or division, depending on what comes first in the equation, and first being left to right in the equation, A for addition, and S for subtraction. Again, that word or in there. You're going to do whichever one comes first in the equation, working left to right. But I'm going to walk you through the steps right now. So the steps are fairly straightforward. It's basically you're going to repeat the same thing with each one, but let's look at step one here. So step one, you're going to check for any grouping signs. Again, that's not just parentheses. You're going to solve for anything in the grouping signs. Then once you have solved for them, if there are not any left, you're going to move on to exponents. You're going to do the same thing for exponents. You're going to check for any exponents. You're going to solve for any exponents. If there are not any exponents, move on to multiplication or division. And you kind of run through this mental checklist of GEMDAS in your head. Okay, I went through G, I went through E, I went through M or D, right? Because you're looking for, right? Step three, check for any multiplication or division. Solve for them from left to right. If there are not any, move on to addition or subtraction. And then same thing, the last step, step four down here, check for any addition or subtraction signs. Solve them from left to right. If there are not any, you have solved the equation. That's always going to be your last step. At that point, you should have solved for whatever variable you have. All right, let's put this into action and check out a couple of examples. The first example here, and let's look at number one, is 4 plus the absolute value of -5 times 4 divided by 10 equals what? All right, so in this case, right, there's no variable. We are just solving the equation here. So let's check it out. So first, right, I have to think about that G, those grouping signs. Are there any grouping signs in it? Yes, there are, right? I've got these absolute value signs. So let's go with what's in there first, and then we'll work from there. Okay, so first step, I want to bring down the absolute value bars. This way I don't forget them. And -5 times 4, that's a positive, or negative times a positive, that's going to be negative, and it's -20. All right, and now I bring down the rest of the equation. I don't write the equal sign at the end. You can if you'd like to, but I don't add the equal sign until the last step. All right, now we have to actually figure out what the absolute value of -20 is, and the absolute value of it is 20. So I'm going to write that down here, and then again, bring down the rest of the equation. If you wanted to do that step in combined and just do, a step before, just do the absolute value of -20 and essentially like not write this first line here, you can do that, but I want to show you with it done so this way you see all the steps. And then again, we're looking for, and then we go back to our GEMDAS, okay? So we did the G. Now we're going to move on to E. Are there any exponents in this equation? No, in the first example, there are no exponents. So that's step one, step two, mentally done. Is there multiplication or division? Yes. Which one? There is division right here. And That is now 20 divided by 10. So that's what we have to do, is 20 divided by 10, which is 2. And then we bring down the rest of the problem, which is 4 plus 2. And then for the sake of the example and the space here, I'm going to bring down the equal sign and equals 6. So the answer to our first example is 6. All right, let's move on to the second example. And what I would suggest here is for you to pause the video, give it a try, then unpause it and follow along with the rest of the video to see if you got the answer correct. All right, I'm glad that you did that and that you took my advice. Now let's run through it. Okay, so let's run through GEMDAS. Are there any grouping signs in this equation? Yes, there is. There's a parentheses and it's 4 plus 5. So let's do that. 4 plus 5 is 9. I like to bring down the parentheses just so I know. Okay, just so I know that I solved it. And when I look at it now, I go, okay, I did that already. And then I bring down the rest of the equation, which is 3 squared. So I solved my grouping signs. Now, are there any exponents? Yes, we have 3 squared. And 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. So let's bring that down too. And then bring down the rest of it, 9 minus parentheses 9. And I'm going to write my equal sign here because this is going to be my last step. And let's think about this. Is there any multiplication or division? No. Is there addition or subtraction? Yes, there is subtraction. 9 minus 9 is 0. So the answer to your second example is 0. I hope that's what you got, but I'm also confident that that's what you got. Thank you so much for being here with me today. My name is Mr. A. This is Master Mathematics. I hope that GEMDAS makes a little more sense to you than PEMDAS does, and that you are able to implement that strategy moving forward. Please leave a like on the video, leave a comment if you feel so inclined to, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Adios.